Organization.
Organization is one of the 6 traits of writing. It is how a paper is organized into paragraphs with an introduction, body, and conclusion.
Here is a typical everyday example of organization.
We're going to use lockers as an example. So this is a messy locker, and nothing has a place, and it's hard to find stuff, and it's all mashed together. And this is an example of a neat locker, and everything has a place, and it's easy to find stuff.
Organization is also used in your writing.
Here is a bad example of an introduction that isn't well organized.
That was an example of a bad introduction because it didn't give us a topic sentence on what the actual rest of the story is about. It all started with the same names and it was all just facts.
Now here's an example of a good introduction.
This is an example of a good introduction because it told us what the rest of the story was about.
Now here's an example of a bad transition that leads into another paragraph.
That was a bad transition because it didn't connect the first paragraph to the second paragraph.
Now here's an example of a good transition.
Now that was a good transition because the ending of the first paragraph led into the beginning of the second paragraph.
Here's an example of an unorganized body.
That was a bad example of a body because everything was mashed together and you couldn't tell the introduction and conclusion.
Now here's an example of a good body.
That was a good example of a body because it was arranged into paragraphs and had an introduction and conclusion. You could tell where each paragraph was divided.
Now that's it for organization.
Join us next time
For more grammar tips.
Yay!